All right. If we can get started here, I'll go through our announcements and try to get through those and the help wanted items fast so that we can get to our demonstration tonight. Thank you, everybody. Welcome to the September 2025 monthly meeting. As usual, our agenda is going to be pretty much the same. We're going to say welcome to all of our members and our guests and our visitors, our visiting member, Ann. We'll go through club announcements, a quick safety minute, and get right into the demonstration tonight, which is from fellow Turner from Springfield, Missouri. And what's their club? Is it the Southwest Missouri? Woodturners of Southwest Missouri. Larry Randolph has come up to present to us, and he's going to do a demonstration on turning small ornamental birdhouses, as you can see behind me and probably saw in the email. After Larry's demonstration, we'll take a short refreshment break, and that'll be followed up by the challenge table. And this month's challenge was set by Don Frank's demo, and it was turn something new that you've always wanted to try, or something similar to that kind of, yeah. And then we'll go into the show and tell table and have presentations by members there. So let me get started on our announcements. It was a busy month. We had another successful participation in the Irish Festival this year. We had many volunteers from our members, and I appreciate that. Wanted to say a big thanks to everybody that put some time in. Our net sales were the second best we had recorded at $4,532 and some change. And that left the club benefiting by a total of $1,808.87, which is almost a month's rent. So it was a very worthwhile event. And we also met a lot of people and handed out a lot of cards for potential members down the line. So thanks again to everybody. Ed and Kevin put in a lot of time and effort in making that event happen. So big thanks to y'all. We had a decent tent sale during the September First Fridays this last Friday. The weather was a little cooler and the crowds were a little slimmer. We didn't probably have as good a sales as we had the month before. And then this coming October will be the last First Fridays event for 2025. So we got one more to happen. And then I wanted to announce that the club made around $300 for the club at the August First Friday sales. So we've definitely made our tent fees back and a little bit of money off of the exposure down there at the First Fridays event. But more than that, I think just the exposure to the community and letting them know that we're here is an important thing. First Fridays was followed the next morning with a tent set up at the Lenexa Spinach Festival on Saturday. We had awesome, great weather and the crowds were really good. But we also had a lot of competition in the city and the football game that was going on. There was a KUMU game that kind of thinned out the crowd in the middle of the afternoon a little bit. We don't have sales totals there yet, but it was a good event, and we may have gained some new members. I know I talked to a couple people that were interested, and I'm sure Kevin and Ed did too. And Ann even stepped in and helped us out, so I'm sure she was promoting us as well. I'll report that our membership did grow last month, so we got, I think, about 5 new members over the last probably couple months. We're at a total of 115 paid members as of this month. And did Mike Erickson's mallets get pulled out? I'll set some out during the.
I have them at home.
Oh,
I'm going to send out a silent auction thing, and the mallets will be on.
Okay, so I'm going to disregard that note. This month's challenge drawing winner will win 2 $10 craft supply gift certificates. And the dollar sweepstakes winners will get to choose from several great prize options, including the infamous multimeter that's still there. So it's like a cockroach. It's going to live through everything. Okay, a new, if you're, if you've got a small person, we've got a t-shirt for you. It'd be good if you've got a grandchild or a child that's young. She could go out and support you at different events by wearing the t-shirt. And we've got a candle sniffer kit. So there's a few items over there to pick from. Next on the list was I wanted everybody to be aware that we do have a new trifold brochure for the club that's got some nice pictures and little bits of information about the club, as well as a map to where we are, our website, and different things. We've got plenty of them. We'd love if you know if anybody that's got an interest to grab one, grab a few, take them and hand them out. What we don't want is just to be handing them out to everybody that you see on the streets. We have also some business cards. There is a little QR code up in the corner. If they snap that, they'll go right to our website from there. So these are available. We'll be handing them out at any of our sales events, and they're available to any of you that want to hand any out to your friends and acquaintances. I don't see Elizabeth here, but Elizabeth Wright, when you see her, thank her for her efforts, because she put the thing together and pushed it through. And then next is our emergency contact labels that have been made so that they can be applied to the back of your name tag, so that if you're in the shop and something bad happened, we'd have an emergency contact and know exactly where to go to get to that emergency contact. If you haven't already put one on the back of your name tag, please, I guess I'll hold it up right. Please come up and grab one. Sue maybe has some more if we need them, but just slap it on your tag and find a pen and jot down the information. It's just a safety item for us. Yeah, we didn't put a checkbox for organ donors, so hopefully that's on your driver's license.
You can write that in, like.
Brian, would you stand up? I want to thank Brian. Brian has taken on the editorial production of the Wood Chips newsletter for us, so everybody give him a hand. I told him that I didn't know if anybody actually heard me when I was asking for help on things. So it was nice to see that somebody did here, and really appreciate it. Thank you. If you'd like your work featured on the KCWT Instagram and or Facebook social media pages, please email photos and a description to Phil Sykes at philsykes@gmail.com. Or you can also tag or mention our account, which is at KC_Woodturners, or invite us to be a collaborator on your post. If you have any questions, reach out to Phil. Phil, raise your hand so everybody knows who you are. That's Phil. He's our safety man, beyond the other things. The social media is good exposure for our club. So any opportunity, if you've got, a project or something you're proud of, or something that you want to explain to somebody, send that information, some photos to Phil. We'll get it out on our different social media platforms. Moving on, we got Open Shop. It's available every Saturday morning from 8:30 to 12 p.m. or later. Wednesday and Thursday evenings from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. except for the third Wednesday of each month, which is the guild's meeting night, so we don't turn on that night. Please help keep the shop clean. Please wear your badge when you're in there, and please sign in at the door. I did have to put some new sign-in sheets. I know that we had ran through the ones that we had, so I've got those in there. And that's really just more to kind of identify how many people are using the shop of the open shop nights and Saturdays. If you find any equipment problems, please report them to me or anybody on the board, and we'll see what we can do to get them taken care of when we can. And last but not least, detension the bandsaw after you use it, and set it to the partial tension setting. So yeah, that just helps maintain that bandsaw for us. Help wanted. Please consider helping with club activities, great opportunities to meet new people and to talk wood turning. We do need a member or two to help Ed out in the October 1st Fridays tent sale. I've got a commitment in Wichita, so I'm not going to be here. So if you are available, and please take opportunity to bring some items and put them out there for your personal sales while you're there. He'll appreciate any help he can with help set up to sell that night and then to break down on Friday. Setup's usually around 3 o'clock. It runs from about 4 to 9 and breakdowns right at 9. I mean, I was home actually before 10 o'clock this last time, which was nice. Personal item sales are encouraged, but do note that the 20% of the personal sales will go to the club. Let Ed know. If Ed, you want to hold up your hand? This is Ed. If you would like to help, especially if you'd like to get some of your items out there to sell, please talk to Ed and let's help him out for this. This is the last one of the year, so it's just helping him out through this last one. Shop cleanup will happen this Saturday we're going to start it at 8:30 until we get the shop clean. And after it's clean, then we'll go into the open shop and you guys can get it dirty again. But we're going to try to get it more organized, cleaned up and ready. I believe there is an open house plan for the guild. So I don't know exactly any specifics on that, but this will help us gear up for that. There is a lot of miscellaneous wood sitting around that if we need to make firewood out of it, let's get that and kind of clean up the floor in some areas. So if you're using the shop, please volunteer some time and help get it cleaned up and organized. Upcoming events. Like I say, we came off of a month of all kinds of events, but we do have a few more on schedule here. We're going to have another top turning Saturday on September 20th. We went through a lot of tops during the Spanish Festival and the Irish Festival and during the tent sales at First Fridays. We need to build up our stock and be ready for the Santa's workshop that's coming up in November. So we're going to have just like we did last time, step in, turn tops. We'll have the blanks there. If you don't know how to turn a top, come in, learn how to turn a top, and you'll be turning them by the time you're done. And it'll run from 8:30 until approximately 4 till the last person leaves or until we go through all the blanks. So please plan to be there on September 20th if you can. And then watch for an email coming out regarding our club participation in the Caw Valley Farm Tour that will be happening in Lawrence, Kansas, Saturday and Sunday, October 4th and 5th. We will need some volunteers for 4-hour stints of top turning and selling. And we'll have a lathe set up at a local nursery, and the turning will be outside if the weather permits. Otherwise, it'll go inside one of the greenhouses, so you don't have to worry too much about weather that day. But that is coming up the 4th and 5th of October, so it'll be before, I believe, actually it's before our next meeting. So Mike was going to send Kevin some information, and Kevin was going to distribute that out to the membership. So you should have more specific information coming on that. That gets me through my notes tonight, and I'm going to turn over the safety minute, but stepping in for Phil on the safety minute tonight is Bill Paulo with, he had some excitement happen in his shop the other day, and he wanted to kind of explain what happened and how unexpected things do happen in the shop, and you can never be prepared for some things.
This is supposed to be a 4-jaw chuck. I was drilling a pin blank, pink ivory pin blank, and I drilled probably half a dozen in the previous 15 minutes, and I let the bit cool between each one. So I had this, and I was looking right at it as it was going through. Then all of a sudden, I didn't even see it happen. It snapped this jaw off. It tore the Jacobs chuck out of the tailstock, the bit out of the Jacobs chuck. And when the Jacobs chuck hit me, I thought it broke my hand. It hit so hard. And the jaw, I found it. If it hadn't hit my grinder stand, I don't know how far it had gone. But like I said, I did not see this happen and I was looking right at it. So, and I'm very safety conscious when I work, but my God, I'm thankful that the bit was taken out of the Jacobs chuck, because that, I don't know what that would have done to me if it had hit me with that velocity. So just be careful when you're, because anything can happen no matter how careful you are. So.
Yeah, it's an example. It's a good example of you can't prepare for stuff like that. So that's, I think, keep in mind staying out of the throw zone as much as possible and keeping yourself out of the area where there is potential for danger is helpful, because that isn't something that was a mistake that was made or a catch or anything big like that. It was just a failure of the equipment. You can't foresee that. So given that, thank you, Bill, for sharing that with us. I'm sure it was a scary experience and something that makes you think again, wow, safety, is a big, it's a necessary thing to think of when you're working on the lathe all the time. Keep safety in mind. Okay, that being said, I'm going to turn the mic over to our demonstrator tonight, Larry Randolph, and everybody give him a round of applause, and he'll explain to you what we're going to do, what we're going to see. Oh, you've got that one?
Yeah, they'll be looking to hear me without this. I appreciate the applause now, because when I'm done, you probably will go on. What in the world, Mike? What did you put in here?
Okay, I'm powered up there. Good. Do what? Okay, all right. Well, that fan that was making all the noise is my fault. Not that I'm overly insulated, but I get a little warm. And there are some really good turners in the room that are making me nervous, so be prepared for flop sweat. I should actually put these out on the show and tell table. Can you get in good and tight? I brought with me Daryl West. Daryl, wave your hand over there. Daryl's one of my friends from my wood turning club in Springfield. He's more than a friend. I know that there are many of you in this room that have developed relationships with people within your club that you probably never would have met if it not for wood turning. And one of them that we were friends with was the CEO of Cox Medical Systems, the largest employer in Springfield next to the city. But he wanted to hang out with wood turners, not physicians. So Daryl makes beautiful birdhouse ornaments. And I started turning in 06. And I started turning pins. We were talking about that earlier. And I went to my first club meeting and I started losing interest in pins. And like every other wood turner, there seems to be a common progression with us. You go from this project, oh, that's the new next one, oh, that's the new next one. Well, birdhouse ornaments to me were cute, but I really didn't have any interest in them. The wife and I do snowmen every year. We collaborate. I do the turning. I turn the hats. There might be some color involved, and then she decorates them. And I told her last year, I said, why don't we do that with ornaments? Because I wanted to come up with a different kind of design that I really hadn't seen before. And, I'll probably look online tonight when I get home and, Bob from Kosovo's been doing this for 30 years. I don't know, but I just wanted to come up with something a little bit different. And I sent one of the ones that we were really proud of as a picture to Josh Friend with the AAW Journal and said, hey, Josh, would you at all be interested in this to put in the members gallery, photos coming up, for Christmas time? And I was excited when he wrote back and he said, would you be interested in writing an article? Well, yeah. So I've been working on that along with making a lot of these for the last couple of months. So what I'm going to try to do for you tonight is quit shaking the ornaments. Yeah, it's the fan's fault. I'm used to hecklers. It's got to be more like, why are you doing it that way? Haven't you ever tried it this way? No, I'm going to turn the top and the bottom for you, the body, I call it, and the hat. And then if we get to the rest of it, I'm going to try to get one colored for you. And then I'll probably just explain how to glue on the decorations. But, pardon? Yes, it'll be daylight by then and it'll be safe for everybody to drive home. Mike told me I had till 10 o'clock tonight, so I'll try to be done by 9:30. But I'll pass a couple of those around to give you kind of an idea. I've tried all kinds of different colors on the hats, on the roofs, whatever you want to call them. And I've not made one yet that I didn't like as far as the color. I've done reactive metals. I've done the iridescent colors like I brought tonight. I've done regular browns. Most all of them start with a black undercoat, which I'll get more into later. But I'm not used to a big lathe at home. I've got a beauty, yeah, American Beauty. Yeah, I'm a kidding. I'm not used to having people in my shop, at least not this many. So I've got some things that I've already rounded out for the roofs. When I get to the bodies, I'll talk about how I hold it. I'm typically, with our club, I'm one of the tenon Nazis. If you're going to be turning tops and you've got a stick of hard maple that's sticking out here 6 or 7 inches long, you better have it with a good tenon and closed upright. Have you got the, can you put the chuck on the overhead? Or get a close shot? I know that somebody at this club has talked about this before, but the way these jaws are made, they're not cast in pieces. They're cast in one piece, and then these are cut apart. So the kerf of the machine that cuts them is going to be about like that, with that kind of gap. Is that showing there? You can kind of see that gap. Pardon? I'm guessing. John Telefero in our club is a machinist, and he understands CNC and all of that. Larry Wallstrom in our club is as well. And they would agree that a tenon like this, you know, when you're doing greenwood and you're cutting your first tenon, you don't want to do that because it's going to oval and it's going to go away. But if you're turning dried wood, I believe that your tenon should be nice and tight like that. So the jaws are giving that wood a hug, and it's not going to pop out as easily. And you guys, how many tops do you guys turn in a year? You do several different events.
20 or
40,000. We need to have a club competition. Our club sets up at the Ozark Empire Fair for 9 days, and we use tops to raise money for the Breast Cancer Foundation. So we like tops too. But that's normally what I would tell you, is make sure you have a solid tenon. Now, since I'm not applying a lot of torque, I'm not pushing out here very hard on what I'm doing, I'm not as concerned with that, okay? So the jaws biting in on 8 places on this, I feel safe with this operation. Okay, now I do wear one of these. You can choose to do this project, you can choose to use a larger Forstner bit and a larger Forstner bit for the body if you want, but I'll give you the idea of how I've done this. This is a 1 1/8 Forstner bit that I've used to make pepper mills with. The body, I will drill out 3/4 of an inch and then turn a tenon on, you'll see here in a little bit. That gives me enough of a tenon to glue in and it be tight, okay, or enough wood there to grab. But you could use a 1 inch, you probably could still use a 3/4. It's, you know, this is, you can do it many ways, okay? And that's the other thing about this project. There are always 10 ways to do the same project, right? This is just the way I've decided to do it. Okay. I'm going to dial up to a little less than 500. Now remember, this is the roof. And I use the top of that Forstner bit right here as kind of the guide. You notice I didn't point with my finger, right? That's the depth that I want. My kids love that sound when I was teaching them to turn. Okay, that's the depth that I want to start with. It doesn't take a lot of bite for the body of the birdhouse to set in there and hold the glue. But what I am going to do, now what you're looking at here, by the way, is the bottom of the roof. So turn it up this way. This is the way that I have it mounted right now. Can you see that above? Okay. So when it's on the birdhouse, it's like this. There we go. Okay. So I'm just insetting it a little bit. Now I like to, Daryl told me I didn't bring enough tools. I like to undercut this just a little bit. Not a lot, but I'm probably gonna, that's about a 1/2 inch hole that I drilled. This top of the Forstner bit is close. Are there any machinists in this group? No machinists, no engineers. No engineer, or there is? Oh, so you guys don't do about. I was turning a garden devil at the Ozark Empire Fair a couple of years ago. And a garden devil, you know, you mark every 1 inch for the depth to plant a bulb. That's really loud, isn't it? This guy standing in front of me, what are you making? He sounded just like that too. What are you making? I said, I'm making a garden devil. Well, what's a garden devil? I said, well, that's to plant bulbs or other plants. Well, what are you marking? I said, well, it's about 1 inch. And he goes, that's not 1 inch. He was a machinist. Since it's you that are engineers, I'll throw him under the bus. Okay. All I'm going to do is come in here. How many are brand new turners in the last year? Anybody? Just a couple? Okay. What do you do with your gouge? What's the ABC? What are you teaching these people?
What is A?
ABC, anchor bevel cut. So I'm going to, if you can see on the camera, I don't know whether you can or not, I'm on the heel of the tool. I'm leaning in with my body until I get a cut. Okay. It's that easy. Now, I could come out here, and I will with another tool here in a minute. But since I don't want to get a catch in front of 50 people in Kansas City, since I told them I'd been turning since '06, I'm going to start on the inside a little bit. On the heel, bring it around until I start seeing shavings. And for you newbies, this is not because I'm that good, okay? Because I'm not. It's just once you get on that bevel and start riding it, it's going to go with you, okay? Now, I don't want to dull that tool so quickly, so I'll come over here and I'll get my 1/2 inch bowl gouge. And I'm going to pre-cut, and I'm going to get, engineers, about, there I was loud, sorry, about 2.5 inches. I'm under that. I got carried away. Y'all got me excited here. So for fun, and because it's easy to do, let's do another one. Then I'll have a backup. Okay. Now, I like to use, there, that's better. Don't talk so loud, Larry. I like to use hard maple. Now, for you newer turners, I'm putting pressure in the middle of the blank, and I'm letting those 8 jaws clamp down like teeth. There, I got loud again, didn't I? Okay. That is an excellent question. This is in grain. For those of you that are new, the grain's going this way. We're 90 degrees from the way the tree grows, okay? It is not face grain. I wouldn't be treating it quite the same, okay? So again, with the Forstner bit, you don't want to burn up your Forstner bit. So I'm at about 500. I'm locking down that. I didn't smoke my Forstner bit. Okay. When you see smoke, that's a good sign that you're turning too fast. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and use this tool. I like speed when it comes to small spindle orientation. Speed is my friend until it's not. Which, by the way, Anthony has demonstrated for our club several times. It's been a long time, but I don't know, you probably came down 4 or 5 times, didn't you? He came down the first time and blew us away with his dual chambered pipe and created pipe smokers out of that trip. And he shared with us the laws of wood turning. And we were talking about this on the way back from dinner. Most of them I had heard before in some form or fashion, but I don't know whether you remember me emailing you some time ago, but I asked him what he would have to have if I put one of them on a t-shirt. And that one was, cutting what don't need cutting won't get cut what needs cutting. Is that close enough? Okay. How's it go? Oh, see, you threw in some proper English. Will not. Okay, we'll sneak up on it this time. Now, when I said about 2.5 inches, you can make them any size you want. But typically, see, I'm pretty close there. Typically, I like to have kind of the proportion of 2.446 inches to the body of 2.875 inches, okay? Two and a half by 8. You didn't dip into the mama's recipe before you got here, did you? Okay, now, all I'm going to do is just a simple scrape. And what I'm creating right now is something that I could create when I swap out the chuck, but it's just easier to do it now. Who knows the difference between soffit and fascia? Fascia board? Builders in here? Okay, so the soffit's underneath, the fascia's on the front. I've created both of these with this orientation. So now when I switch it around, I don't have to worry about getting too close to the chuck. Because unlike Anthony, for me, the pucker factor is pretty severe when I get close to the chuck. Okay. Now, it would probably make more sense to you all if I went ahead and finished the roof now, but that would be too simple. So I'm going to put the body in. And the reason why I'm doing it now, I've made a bunch of these. It's easier to not change tooling while you're in the middle of something. So I have done, what did I do at the fair, Daryl? I did 35 or 40 of them in a couple of turnings at the fair, just the roof, just this portion. And so I could have them ready and work in batch. So I'm going to leave my same chuck on. I talked about the tenon. This, if this piece was out to here, I sure wouldn't do it without the life center backing it up. Now, can you? Yes. Can you do it successfully? Yes. But it only takes that one time, just like your situation, it only takes that one time for it to blow up in your face. And I really don't like med pay insurance that we have, so I don't want to go to urgent care. Okay. So for this, for those of you that are new, I would go ahead and bring up the life center to round it out. Okay. I'm not going to. I'm going to go ahead and drill first. And to do that, I've got two drills.
Oh,
I said earlier,
what? What?
there's two different Forstner bits.
Yeah.
Daryl, you didn't make me bring the, yeah, you did. Daryl is, don't make fun of him, okay? He is documented as the oldest living woodturner in the United States. He may be the oldest in the world, but there is that guy in Kosovo we don't know yet. Daryl is so old. Thank you. He's so old. When he was little, the Dead Sea was just sick. Gotta try. He was so old that Captain Crunch was just a private. Oh man, my kids used to love those. Okay, tough crowd. Now, this is the body or the bottom part of the ornament. And I want to drill this hole first, though I don't always remember to do so, because it will make drilling the next holes. See, I did it in reverse, Daryl. I did that on purpose. I should have rounded it out and drilled the entry hole and the perch hole first.
I'm watching the meeting.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's your, oh, you're not having
It's
your
going
meeting?
to chip out
Huh?
You're not
more
going
often than not
I
on the
couldn't
inside,
go,
but I can make it work.
Oh,
I didn't have a ride.
Okay.
Yeah,
oh, you're hearing it there. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Say again?
I think Birdhouse is being given
The Forstner bit, well, going into end grain, it does burn them up a lot quicker. That's why I'm very conscious. Thank you. That's why I'm very conscious about the speed. You won't dull them as quickly. I've had pretty good luck. I can't quantify it. I can tell you on the other one, I've got a little Forstner bit that I'm going to drill in this hole here, probably about 50, because it's getting really difficult. And I would say the larger Forstner bits are much the same, I would suppose. Okay. Now, again, since I really don't want to throw this out of the chuck in front of newbies or Anthony, I'm going to double check and make sure that's a good hole. Now, like I said earlier, I like speed when it comes to spindle turning. There I'm at about 2,600.
Just this thing.
Now, at this point, all I'm doing is trying to get it round.
Even on
Get
meeting.
up there.
Yeah.
The next
I have
process
hanging over my rack thing.
is to turn the little tenon.
My shower.
Where are we at on the camera?
Geez, you sure that's been on the phone?
Twice.
I'm seeing the one here, but
I
it's
had
not
it.
moving.
Hot, right?
There we go. It froze there for a second. Okay, so
It really soaks
let
up
me
when I was
turn
outside.
it this way. Okay. And you see the tenon I've got here? Kind of see it? We're close enough. You can probably see that. How about if I do that? Can you find it, or can I find you? Okay. For those of you that have made boxes, I'm making a box. I'm just cheating with a Forstner bit. Okay. And the idea is that it fit not necessarily like a pop box, but not sloppy either. You want to have enough meat on that tenon for the glue to adhere and stick good. Okay. You get that finger out of the way so it'll stick good like that. Okay. So to do that, I'm going to use a diamond point scraper. And actually, this is the tool that I use to get my tenons for the Vic Mark jaws, my standard jaws. This is a Glenn Lucas tool. And this was, at the time, the only tool I had to purchase to reach greatness. And since I bought 47 other tools, but I do like it. And again, it's just a simple scrape. I can hold that in there. And it'll leave a little mark for me. See that? Can you see it on screen? Okay. Daryl's really not that old. That, I may be sloppy now. I think I cut too much. Nope. When you work on them for 2 or 3 days and you do a bunch of them, your eye gets much better. It's been a week or two since I've done very many. Okay. Pretty close. Not quite. Oh, so close. Just a whisper. Actually, it would work there, but I don't want it to be that tight. Take a little bit more off here. And that's too much. We'll see. Nope. Yep. A little bit sloppy, but we'll make it work. I'll tell you this more later probably, but it never hurts to repeat it. When I glue these together, when I've got the finished bottom, the finished top, I use my CA glue on the inside edge of the hat, the roof. Then I spread the glue together. I set this in an egg carton, or I finally found a really good use for empty toilet paper rolls. You can stand them up, and then I run a bead of medium CA all the way around it, turning it, and almost like it looks like you're caulking a window. And then I set it, try not to move it, I set it upside down, and it will weep in and grab the fibers of the end grain to the end grain, and it holds really well. Okay, so your question about the Forstner bits. This is a 1/4 inch Forstner. Now again, this is something that you can vary. I just chose 1/4 inch because it looked right. It could be an 1/8 inch larger. It could be, you know, just something that looks aesthetically pleasing to you. And all of our eyes see things different, okay? I'm also trying to decide, this is just plain oak, plain straight grained oak. If you want to use figured woods, more power to you. I'm going to color the top. That's where I think the eye will go. And this is actually oak that came from stringers on chicken houses. It was a single-use piece of wood. I think I like this side, this color a little bit better than that. So I'm going to drill the bird's entry hole, and I'm going, for engineers, I'm going to go about there. Okay. And this bit, where'd you go? This bit is dull. Need the burning, but I'll get it there.
Put a t-shirt on it.
Put a t-shirt on it. Say that again. Well, if it was that good, Anthony, you better say it again. Okay, so I did chip out on the inside there. I just said it here. This is a 5/32 bit. I chose 5/32 because that's the size of the little dowels that I use for the perch. Just what I bought at Hobby Lobby. You may find an 1/8, whatever it takes. And again, it's about what looks good to you. That bit's still good. Okay, now, all the drilling, all the boring part is done. I do a little bit of shaping on this side, not a lot. Okay, all I'm doing is thinking about getting it round and shaping from about here up. When I turn it around in the pin jaws, you'll see how I shape the rest of the body. And you'll notice with all of these, each one of them is just a little bit different. When I make them, I don't want them to be identical. I don't want them to be the same. I want each one to be different. And some of the comments that we heard last year was, oh, well, I like this one because it's this, or, oh, well, this one's different here. They catch the differences. So they get whoever, whether it be a daughter-in-law, a granddaughter, or somebody at an art show, they get to choose. I'm at about 2,500. Now, for those of you that are new, this is a bevel rubbing cut. It's just on the wing. Is it the best cut? No. Does it work? Yes. Here I'm just going to use a little bit more shaping there to bring it for when I turn it around in the chuck. Now, when I'm looking at this, if you can see it from the overhead perspective, can you zoom the overhead? Can you zoom it? Bring it in more? May not be able to. Turn that off. I have to go to Mercy too. Do you have Mercy's in Kansas City? Okay. My card's in my wallet. It's not really a flat. It is a slope down, but I don't really like that. I want a little bit more curvature there. So that's where I think the attention to detail on these things, because, you know, a lot of them do look alike. They're all very similar package, but this goes back to Anthony saying, if I start way over here and try to shape it, I'm probably going to end up with another straight, right? So I started nibbling here, bringing it down. Now I've got a little more of a curve, okay? How am I doing on time? Okay. Mike, how long do I have? 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, okay. The engineers just went crazy. Okay. Now, I don't, big contention in our club, maybe here too, I think it is everywhere. Your favorite chuck. Who in here are Vic Mark snobs? Okay. Who are one-way chuck snobs? Record Power? Sorby? What's that goofy one you use? No, not Grizzly. Nova. Who uses? No, you all are goobers. We had one of our founding members of our club, Ernie Lawrence. He's been gone now probably, was that during COVID when Ernie passed away? So 5 years. He was a Vic Mark snob. And at the time, my first chuck was a one-way stronghold that I bought. How many of you have been through this? One of our members that had passed away, his widow had an auction. And I didn't know what I was buying. I just knew I needed a chuck. And our crazy Canadian, Mike Ilkew, said, Larry, that's a good chuck. I use those. He said, there are other chucks, but you'll like that chuck. So I bought a one-way chuck, stronghold, and got used to it and loved it. And Ernie found out. And he said, Ernie said, Larry, I really wish you'd have talked to me before you spent all that money. He said, boy, am I going to reach with the quill? He said, I really wish I'd have known you were going to buy that. I would have told you to buy a Vic Mark. I said, oh, well, that's the way it is. Well, there were just as many people in the club that loved one-way strongholds. I don't think that's going to make it. I'll make it without it. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. Yeah. Still rest. Yeah, I know. I'm with you. I'm working for you, brother. Yeah. Now, Ernie, he told me, he said, boy, I wish I'd have known. I'd have talked you into a Vic Mark. So that year for our club Christmas party, he got one of the awards. I don't remember what the award was that year. It was a mentor award or something like that. I had him a t-shirt made, white t-shirt, on the front with the one-way logo. And on the back, you're my hero. On the back, it said, "One way Chuck's rock." And he wore that to almost every meeting after that. That one's too short. It's all right. I'll use what I got. This is Iron Chef. But how many members have you guys lost that you miss immensely? Sean, for one. I knew Sean. We've lost a bunch. We've lost a bunch in the last just couple of years.
Larry, what's your membership?
Well, I'm not the leader anymore, and they won't tell me. No. Marion told me the other day we're somewhere between 150, 160 now. It's about where we were before COVID. It's taken us a long time to get back to that. Now, I may pop this off of here, so get ready to throw the challenge. Let me see what happens. Light cut. Light cut. Now, is there a reason to wear a face shield? Did you hear where it went? Did you hear what it hit? Yeah, it rocked my world. Did you hear where it hit first? It hit my head.
Big Martin don't do that.
Did you say Vic Marks won't do that? Do you know what, Chuck, this is? This is a Vic Mark. Wah, wah. Okay. Now, I only did that for the new people in the room. Yes, it was a learning opportunity. Yes. There you go. Hey, I do what I can. This is why I wear a face shield. I'm not just wearing it for you guys. I wear it at home. We had a member in our club. He's gone now. He died last year. That was our safety Nazi, but with good reason. One of the first things he did when he started turning bowls, he wasn't using a 4-jaw wood chuck. He was using a 3-jaw grizzly metal chuck. And it came out, a big bowl blank, came out and shot over his shoulder and went through his plate glass window in his shop. And then, what's the lady's name in Arizona? Yamaguchi. This has been several years ago. She almost lost an eye and maybe partially blind in it yet. She wrote an article for the AEW where she made a safety or a face shield out of a riot helmet. So safety is important. If I had done that and didn't have this, I'd be bleeding right here because that's about where it hit. So your safety minute, you're welcome. Okay. Again, I'm going to bring that up. Light cuts. For those of you that are new, that just scared the water out of, you notice I must have done it a time or two. And that's after I told you how much of a tenon Nazi I am. Okay. Now, some of my little birdhouse bodies look a little bit like acorns. This one probably not. Here I'm riding the bevel, trying to waste away that. Oh, look what I did. What better to do during a demo than to screw it up royally?
Did you just make a phone?
I did. Again, this was part of the arrangement with Mike. He said, "Can you screw one up really badly?" And I said, "Well, it's what I do." Say that again. You could, but I'm stubborn. I'm from Missouri. We're gonna make another one, but we're gonna finish the roof first. Which one was it? That one. Okay. again, part of the reason for me doing this way is I'm utilizing the same tools over and over. You could, one of the ways that other people have made these very successfully is they have used jam chucks. Any of you new that doesn't know what a jam chuck is? You turn a piece of wood, you neck it down, not naked, neck it down so it'll fit in that snugly. You use the tailstock. You could have shaped what I've already done with one pass and not have had to have worried about it. Okay. Again, I'm going to bring the tailstock up because I've already thrown one off in front of you. And I'm going to take the chuck key out before I turn the machine on. Now, here's my opportunity. It's a long ways from true. I'm giving you that as my parting gift. Okay. Hold that with pressure as close as you can to the middle, because this is a 1 1/8 inch hole. It's going to want to twist and turn and not run true. That's much better. Since I screwed up, now I'm flustered and Anthony's over there laughing his butt off. Okay. Mike's saying, what did I do? Why did I book this guy? Now.
We got till 10 o'clock. We got till 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, okay. Now, I liked, if you noticed, with the examples I've got here, most of them are lower profile, like a 412 pitch. Then there's the long skinny one. That's more what Daryl makes with really pretty woods. He makes the delicate looking finial type. Most of what I do is the smaller profiled roof. So that's what I'm going to do with this one. All I'm doing right now with tailstock support is just wasting away some of that material until I get down to the basic shape that I want. See, I could make it kind of an upside down funnel, like my bowls. But I think we'll go for more of a straight pitch. Thanks, sir. I don't always use a spindle gouge for this project. You can just do it with a bowl gouge. You could do the whole thing with a 1/2 inch bowl gouge. You don't have to go out and buy more tools, okay? But this little, do what? You can buy, because you're only one more tool from greatness. I finally kind of realized that that's not the case. It's only taken me 10 grand to figure that out. I hope my wife never sees this. Okay. Before I go to the spindle gouge, I'm going to go to this little 3/8 bowl gouge again. My tool rest is way low. Okay. That's too low. I'm going to risk it.
Yes, I'm getting it.
I haven't limited myself in mistakes tonight yet, so why now? Okay.
Good, good. I got your message a while back. I've been in a meeting. We just got back home. So
There we go. Another thing that Ernie Lawrence, who was
No, no.
I mentioned earlier, taught me early on. He was a retired dermatologist. He said, whatever you do, get this live center out of there before you
let's
put
see,
your
I'll turn
elbow
into
in
my
front of
calendar
it.
here. How about
Well, it hurt.
10 o'clock tomorrow morning?
He told us, and I have forgotten. I'm glad he's not here tonight. I wish he was.
I've got it,
There's a
I've
pocket
got
of
a busy
fluid.
morning.
What is it?
How about,
Yes, that, whatever he said. And he said, you really, really
Let's see, I've
don't
got,
want to puncture that. So I listened, and I have never done that. Lots of other things, hitting myself in the head in front of a crowd.
Let's see, we got doctor's appointment at 3:30. Let's see.
Okay, all I'm doing now is just getting rid of this. You know, you could.
Yeah,
I've
about
made some like this.
2:30.
See that? And you have the little overhead there. Let me give you some
I
contrast.
gotta meet Larry Tolan.
Almost like a barn.
Correct.
What are those called?
Program that he's gonna do for the lifelong learning committee.
Cupola. Yeah, you can make a little cupola. I've done that.
That'll probably take an hour.
But why do that when I could possibly knock it off here again
We got our flu shots at 3:30.
and pretend like I meant
You
to?
had your flu shots at 3:30?
At 3:30, that's here.
Now,
Do I have
if
to be
you go
here?
slow with your tool, we were talking about this earlier. Remember,
we were
I'm on the
talking about
heel.
trying to get somebody to get some
Bring it up until I get a cut.
upside down, right, take it apart.
And all I'm doing here for a final cut is letting the speed of the machine
Oh, yeah,
do the bulk
definitely.
of the work.
And I don't know if there's anyone else available or not.
I have to check and
The
see.
hardest thing for newbies to
Yeah.
learn is to be patient right here,
It's
whether
hard
it
to
be
find
here or
somebody
on
in
the
the
bottom
shop
of the
that's
pole.
also available.
Let the tool do the work,
Yeah.
okay? Then you won't have one of those dimples that you can't sand out.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know whether you can tell on the camera or not,
Okay.
but there are little tool mark rings from the heel of the tool.
Here.
Not
I
worried
think
about
it'll
that.
probably take,
If you want to do this and take
Well,
the time to sand it,
yeah,
feel
it'll
free.
probably take an hour over
I'm gonna
there.
texture it.
From
And
2
It's
to
gonna have some
3,
funky
yeah.
texture anyway, and I don't care.
I'll be here
I'm
from,
not gonna sand
like,
it.
from.
Richard,
What I am
please
gonna do-
mute yourself.
Before I texture it,
Please mute.
Quarter
do it after you
two.
texture it, is I'm gonna bring
I was
the
thinking about going to that
Live
diamond
center
up
up
there
here.
from 1 to 2.
Oh, you were gonna.
lock it down
Yeah.
Okay.
without
Yeah.
the machine running or with the machine running, it doesn't matter.
How
All
about
I'm going to do with
tomorrow
that point
evening?
from the live center,
Or
I'm
is that-
making a
that's-
divot for my
that's
little bitty drill bit,
short.
Yeah, and most
it's
of
not
guys
gonna
don't
skate on
look at it, you know,
okay?
Yeah,
situations.
Yeah.
With dinner and everything.
Now, Daryl introduced me to this little tool.
Okay.
yeah.
He said his plane
This
was
is
lands
a-
at 3?
Welders, any welders in
He
here?
lands at 2:00.
Oh, 2, so we thought maybe 3-ish at the very
Don't
earliest.
be afraid. If
By
you're
the
the
time he
only
gets
one, they don't know the
a rented
difference.
car in.
Is this it's an
Yeah, so
acetylene
probably
quartz tip planer.
3:30-ish.
It's basically like a little pin vise, if you know what a pin vise is,
Probably would be
you
about
could
that.
use a pin
Yeah, type
vise
of thing.
just
Okay,
as
we got
easily
it.
as this. But
Yeah, we've got a
Daryl
deal
had
in the
one
morning.
meeting.
I'm trying to make sure we'll be back
he
by
makes
then.
really good birdhouse ornaments, so I had to
Midday.
have one.
Something on Wednesday.
Yeah,
I
midday.
don't remember how much it cost
Um,
at True Value Hardware. It
let's
was
see.
like $28. On Amazon, it was like $7.
Hey, Richard, please mute your microphone. We can hear your
I don't
conversation.
have to have the best tip cleaner because I'm a wood turner, okay? Now, the same speed, it could be slower, it could be faster.
11.
I'm gonna come in here, my depth perception is lousy. I'm gonna take a little bite
I've got two.
because I've
extra,
learned
so I guess I don't have
that
to
you can
take
stick
them.
this thing in the wood
I've got the sit and get fit.
and it doesn't wanna come back out, okay?
I
That's it.
don't have to go to that.
Now,
Yeah, we
I'm
probably
drilling
won't
that
go to
hole for the
balance
little
because we got
eyelet
this other thing
that I'm
done.
gonna
'Cause,
have
yeah,
for the hanger.
of course,
okay?
then they didn't have balance class this
I'm gonna
morning,
take
which we
this.
never knew about.
Oh, did you go down there for
Around that
that?
way.
Yeah, and see, we never got that, you
And
know,
then-
for notifications that
I'm gonna
That it
talk
was
to you about the
canceled.
texturing
We never
tools.
did get that.
Who's got
whatever
the
she
little
sent
Wagner
out.
style knurling tool? Several of you. How many of you have got the little micro
There, it's
spiraling tool? So
Yeah, see, we
several
never
of you
got that
don't.
message, yeah.
these are fun.
Yeah.
The decorating elf
Girls
will
were
work for this too, but
Yeah.
it's not quite as
Yeah,
cool.
okay.
Richard, Richard
As
Kevin
easy.
said she tried to say it to everybody,
Um,
but
I like them both.
Richard
most people
McCartney,
got
can
it,
you
but
hear
there's
us?
several of us sitting
You
down
don't
there waiting
want
for it,
to
wondering why there's such a
not
small
Turn
group.
more than about 400 or 500
Oh.
RPM.
really? Okay.
There's a little bearing in there,
Well,
You'll
what
burn it
can
up.
we do? I
a
got
little brass thing here, you'll wobble it out. Now, I've not done that. That's not my voice of
No.
experience, but you
I
can.
suppose I could try to get someone else, but it's kind
Let's use
of
the
late.
Wagner
Yeah, I
here
know.
on the,
We're both
what is
between
the
all our schedules.
outside of the,
Two,
Yeah.
two things we're all
Thank
trying
you.
to do tomorrow.
somebody was listening.
We got a wood shop meeting at 9.
I hope you didn't
till
see me cut
9:30.
the bottom out of that body.
Wood shop meeting?
Yeah, the
Now,
monthly meeting for the shop.
I'm gonna
is
come
tomorrow
below
from 9 to
center or
10.
at
Oh, it
center.
is?
Yeah.
Oh, from
Now,
9
you can
till
do it
10.
above, but it fights you more.
You know, it usually runs
Okay.
up around quarter.
I could go straight on, see it
Okay.
spin,
Well, do you
but I
suppose
kind of
you
like to
could bring
risk
some
life
people
and limb.
at that meeting?
Yeah, but are you available
I'm
then?
a little bit under. Can you
Little
see
after
where I'm
nine, yeah.
under center,
Yeah,
right?
but you weren't available at 10, were
You
you?
put it there and hold it there. You don't have to press hard, okay? This is not Aunt Eula's prized peach that you're canning for the winter. Just firm pressure.
Appointment is at 11.
That was actually longer than I needed
So I
to,
could
but you see it left a texture.
not go to sit and get
Can you see
fed.
that on camera?
But
Not very
that's
well.
that's not tomorrow, is it?
I'll pass it around here in a minute.
That's right. It is tomorrow. I go tomorrow
Yes.
too.
Oh, you got it. Okay,
Yeah,
that
well,
goes every day.
I kind of like to think of it like a shingle or a texture.
Yeah, do you want to leave your,
There's
you want
one
to leave
that's
your door
totally
unlocked?
different than what I'm doing.
Well, sure.
Here,
I
Chris,
don't mind
take this one
doing
too.
that.
Yeah, at least
The
why don't I see
silver
if I can get a
one
couple
was
of guys
done
from
just with the knurling
the meeting
tool.
tomorrow morning, and we'll
I
come up
came in and did this all
and
from the
at
top
least get it,
down.
yeah, turned over and taken
And then I
apart.
turned
You
it
know, they were in your
90
living,
degrees
move
and
it
did the
over to the
same
rug
thing
and
again. And it gives you
flip it
kind of a
over.
crosshatch,
Okay.
okay? You can go straight
That
in
sounds perfect. So.
and then maybe give yourself enough line or enough for a line that you'd put in
Yeah,
with a point tool,
yeah,
which I'll
quarter
show
to
you in a
10
minute.
each. Yeah,
You can
whenever
do
the
that in
meeting's over,
multiples.
obviously.
There's just, it's unlimited. The textures and
That'll work.
spirals
I
that you
just
can
won't
get.
go to that exercise class in the morning. Need to do that.
Yeah.
This is much more
You
important.
could use a
Yeah,
chat
get
tool,
this
absolutely.
ready to go. For
Yeah, it just screams at me and I don't like when it
And the
screams.
next day, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
This is actually the brand
Glad I got a hold of
from
it.
Yeah,
Craft
yeah, okay.
Supplies that they sell. There are others that sell it. This one is
Yeah.
the Wagner texturing tool, Apprentice.
So,
Ron Brown copied it and sells them.
Okay, yeah, it'll
You can
probably
find
be
them on
somewhere around
Amazon
quarter
as
to 10.
well. There are multiple different
Okay, Carol.
sizes or teeth per
Thanks a
inch
lot,
or
Rick.
All right,
however they
bye-bye.
measure it. And you can get different ones. I only own the one. You know what? Let's just do that with this one. Well, if you abuse it, I've never burned one
Well,
out.
let me get back to my
But
meeting.
I was told by,
I'll tell you in a little bit.
I can't remember.
I've missed so much of the
Somebody told
meeting,
me
it's
that-
pretty much meaningless
And
anyways.
I think it says on the description on the Facebook or on their page, the website, but somebody had told me that they actually got it. If you use it so much, it ends up wobbling.
Yeah.
You burn it up, get it too hot. But I think on their website, they say not to go over about 400 or 500. Okay. We'll go ahead and texture this one. I'm going to risk it and leave my face shield up just for this. Okay. Let me show you some different ones. Can you get the camera in tight on this one? Bring it in real tight right here. Let me stop it so we can get focus. Can you lock focus? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So that was just going in straight. Okay. Now, if I go at a bit of an angle, and again, I'm going to hold below center. I get it turning and I just hold it there. Now I may rock it side to side to make sure that I'm getting it even, or what feels like even. It may not be. And you get a little bit of a spiral texture. And that's fairly deep, right? Same thing if I do the other direction. Okay, see, I'm leaning to the right. I'm gonna bring it over to the left just a little bit. And if you're careful, if you move it just one or two teeth over and pull back and let it reset, it'll find its own pattern. Okay. Okay, are you in tight on that one? Okay. Now, when I've done things like this, I like to take a point tool. Is there a pencil by chance? Anybody got a pencil? You're the man. Thank you. Be careful. Well, you've seen me drop tools and blow up stuff, so. And this is number 2. Stella Crockett used to stab me with these in 3rd grade. I still don't like Stella Crockett. I thought she was pretty. Okay. Now, that's not accurate, but it gives me kind of an idea. My eyes, even with good light, I kind of get lost on where that pattern is. So and I'm going to paint this, so it doesn't matter whether I put pencil on it or not, okay? It just gives me kind of a point of reference, no pun intended. So I am going to turn the speed up just a little bit, just so I'll get a little bit cleaner cut with a point tool. Now, since I had a different texture here on between the fascia and the roof, I'm going to put a delineation with this point tool. And I'm going to do it very carefully because you can miss the mark. Okay. And that'll just give it a little more depth when I color it. Okay. Now, you can burnish it to take some of the little fuzzies off. There's not enough chips there to burnish. A lot of times I'll take like a 400 grit pad. You'll notice my fingers are underneath. It's spinning towards my finger, right? I don't want to break my finger. Not done that yet. I don't want to do that. But I take some of the main fuzzies off. But now it's got texture that's going to grab the paint here in a little bit. Okay. So pass that around. Make sure it gets back to me and we'll paint it here in a little bit. Okay. This one. We'll do one more. I think I can do this without throwing it out at you again. You ready? Okay. Runners in their blocks. Okay. Got that pretty straight. Now see, with our club, we've got a full extruded aluminum and plexiglass face shield, no, lathe shield. Because I demo once or twice a year. Daryl, I'll quit calling you old as long as you don't tell anybody what I did here. Now I'm trying not, again, if I had my live center up here, I'd be being a little more aggressive. But I don't want Ann any more scared than she already is. Never say that to a Randolph. My dad used to tell me, Daryl, and I told him this, I've told him probably a dozen times. When I was a teenager, my dad used to tell me I could tear up a steel ball with a rubber hammer. I didn't think it was very funny when I was 14 or 15. Then I raised 3 boys. Just for grins. Yeah, I don't really like that. We're going to leave it. Okay. Just to have something a little bit different. Again, the only limits to the shapes on these things is your imagination. Okay, I'm going to bring this back up. I'm going to turn the lathe on this time. I'm going to put a little dimple. I'm going to get my little drill bit. And why am I drilling this? You paid attention when I told you before? Yes. For the eyelet, yes. And again, my depth perception's lousy. That's really the little eyelets that I'm going to show you here in a little bit. less than 1/4 inch is really all you need. Okay, I'm going to use the Wagner again, just for the fascia. You'll notice that I started to move in too close. See how far I've got the tool rest away? You got to make sure with these tools that you're not racking your fingers or the tool rest, okay? So again, I'm going to be at 428.5 RPMs. I'm holding it down underneath it. I'm just applying pressure. I didn't move it to the side, and it should be done. Okay. Can we bring this camera back in tight again? And now, with this tool, bring it in right here. A little bit more. Can you? There you go. Yeah. That'll work. That'll work. Okay. That'll work if you can hold focus there. With this tool, this little brass bolt right here, well, it has threads. And if you have it on the left side, it will unscrew. I know. You don't have to ask me how.
How long did it take you to find it?
Twice. Brass is not magnetic. And Daryl will attest that in my shop, I always have a lot of chips. I gave up after about 15 minutes the first time. The second time, I just said, screw it, and called Hartville Tool and ordered a new one. Ordered 2. I've got an extra one. But remember, with this particular tool, that little bolt stays on the right side, okay? Now, again, I'm at 428 RPMs. If I start here, and I just move it to the left a little bit, I'm at about 11 o'clock. I guess for you guys, it's 1 o'clock if you're looking at it that way. Okay. And you see that texture? Okay. Now, if I hold it this way and start again below center, I'm going to get lines instead. Come on. There we go. And I move it a little bit more down the roof, just a little bit. Let's see what I get. Yeah, it's ugly. But you see, because I started it too flat, I started getting lines before I got a pattern. But I clean this up with the point tool. Same thing here. If I just wanted to go and use the sharp edge or the right side of this cutter, I'm kind of bouncing it. You can probably hear it. I don't know whether you can or not. It's going to be a really random, hopefully kind of an orange peel. A little bit. You probably have to have it in hand to see that. Okay. And then if I come back up here, just go straight in. I'm going to pull it out to the left and start to rotate it slightly. And then I just barely touch there. That'll give me a couple of different textures. Okay. So really the only thing that I'm too concerned about is this rough edge that I left here. I'm going to break your pencil. Now I think I can get it well enough here. Mark here. Here. And then the edge. Take my point tool again. I hit it for myself. Okay. Let me move my tool rest back up a little closer. Turn my speed up a little bit. Start here on the edge. That'll take some of that raggedness out. With the side of the scraper, barely touch it. That'll clean it up a little bit. Right there. Right there. Right there. Now, this is not hard. It's easy. This is a project that can be done by beginners, okay? Where's our focus? Okay? Okay? So I think we're good. And I just played with it a little bit. I'm gonna pass this around. Look at this next to the outer ring, and you'll see the little orange peel that I was going for. Chris? Okay. Okay, so where's the first one that went around? Behind me. Okay. All right. We're going to pretend that this is my finished body. You got the gist of the one I blew out, right? Where's the camera at? Okay, right there. I got a little greedy. This one's much shorter than this one. Okay, I drilled them to the same depth, but this is a different shape. I guess did I pass this around? This barrel? Okay. If you want to think whiskey barrel, wine barrel, any shape, you know, the ones that I brought as samples, you know, this one here. I showed this to Daryl when we got here. This is a duplex. There's an entry on that side. There's an entry on that side. Anybody else? Daryl figured it out right away. Do you know why it's a duplex? I did. I drilled all the way through. But Ernie Lawrence was sitting here on my shoulder and said, don't waste that wood. So I thought, you know what? It's a duplex.
Now, the real question is, did you have your hand right there where that bit came out?
No. Oh, I never put my hand back there. Yeah, that one I learned from Dad. Okay. I don't know. I don't have time to color, do I? Okay. Let me explain to you how I color. The rest is I don't think I have to show you for you to get it anyway. For Ernie Lawrence, I reused the same glove. How much older was Ernie than you? 10 years at least. 6? I thought he was older than that. He was on the board when I was president. One night we were talking about an upcoming date, and this was about the time he turned 85. I didn't point at you by mistake. He turned 85, and we were talking about a specific date for something, and he says, well, guys, I may not be here for that. And I patted him on the leg, and I said, now don't talk that way. He thought it was funny. Okay, so this is Speedball India ink, okay? There are other India inks out there. This is just the one that I've become accustomed to. It has a little bit of shellac in it. Les Castile, a member of our club, swears up and down that India ink is what a lot of people have used to ebonize pianos to get a black piano. So I take just a cheap chip brush. Harbor Freight. How many of you say Freight Harbor? Okay. And by using that ensures that I get down in every crevice. Okay. I don't want to have bare naked wood showing. Okay. Then after I do that, I like to use golden. This is fluid acrylic. This is a real thin paint. You can see I've used this one's about empty. I take a piece of paper or cardboard. I put a few drops on it. I take my cheap paintbrush. Now you can spend all the money you want on high dollar paintbrushes, but for this, you don't need it. Dip your paintbrush in on the paper, on another spot. Do this. Do this until Jim Randolph, my dad, would say, I can still paint the house with that. A good dry brush. And then you come in here, now I don't do it on the lathe, I'm just showing you here so it'll be on camera. And just, it highlights. It barely highlights. And you turn it. Now dry brush some more. You turn it, you dry brush some more. You dip your paint, you dry the brush. You don't want globs. So you do this to get the globs off of the brush, come in here and paint it. You stop when you get it to the level of the color that you want. Some of them I do a lot thicker. You could see by the samples, some are a lot thinner. I want the black paint and the texture underneath only to be there to show shadow and lift. Okay, that's all there is to it. It's simple. If you want to try this, just texture a piece of wood, paint it black, and practice a little bit. You'll find out how easy it is. Okay, then when I decorate them, and let me talk about the perch. The perch is just a simple short dowel that I bought at Hobby Lobby. They came in a pack. This is the full length. They came in a pack of about, I don't know, 100. And I just dip them in that Black India ink. I take my side cutters, cut it. I come over here. I put the perch in the hole, run it deep into the hole. I can see it because I've drilled that deeply. I take my medium CA, the tip, put it down in there, coat it really good. I turn it a couple of times, and then I pull it out about the wall thickness. That way I don't get glue on my finish. I skipped that. When I finish the bird body, I use Mylan sanding sealer. After I've sanded to about 240, 220, 240, whatever it takes. You can go higher if you want. I use Mylan sanding sealer. When it dries, I take a bunch of them and I use rattle can lacquer. It's easy. Okay, I'll do 10 or 12 at a time. I'm done. Put that perch in there, glue it in. Then I take my roof and I glue it in, like I said earlier. I put it upside down. I put my glue in here. You could put it here any way you want. Put it in there and run a bead around. It'll seep in and it's almost like caulking. Okay, medium. I wouldn't use thin. It'll just go right through it. You could use thick. I just haven't tried it. Okay. Then I hand it off to my wife because she likes doing this part. And she buys these. These are, does anybody know what these are called? Picks. I didn't know from Picks, but my wife did. Hobby Lobby. There's all kinds of different ones. And I've got you too narrow now, don't I? Like this here. This one, what I've got on the top of this one, they've got little pine cones that we've used. I don't know whether any of these have pine cone on or not. Little pine cones, and it's just hot glued on. Apply the hot glue to the texture, mash it in a little bit so it'll get tooth, set it right down on it. And I told her last year I really liked the looks of the brass hooks, and she said, well, I really like the ribbon. And I said, no, I think we're going to do brass hooks. So we've been doing ribbon ever since. Okay. I just throw as much stuff around as I can. The only other thing that I can think of that I really haven't shown you yet, I know we're short on time, but let me, on the floor, my key, yes. Oh, well, thank you. Yep. Is how I put in the eyelet. You know, it's like everything else. There's 15 different ways to do it. Ernie, I may not be able to use that glove again. Okay. Daryl, what did I do with them? You handed them to me. You're right. See why I brought you? You guys have heard of Girl Fridays? You know, Girl Friday? She helped you? This is Old Man Monday. I said I wasn't going to do that anymore, didn't I? Okay. Now, after putting 7 or 8 of these together, good gravy. Bare fingered, I learned a trick. Because even though they're little bitty, I'm not doing that under speed. Okay. You keep going. After about 7 or 8, fingers get numb. you go to Harbor Freight again, or Freight Harbor. That hole is not straight. And just hold it in there until it seats. That one's not going to. Hold it until it seats, and then you're good. I don't do that until until after I'm done coloring it, because I really don't want to color the little eyelet. If these are defective, it's Daryl's fault because I didn't have mine. Okay. But you're going to go till it seats. Okay. Pretty simple. The coloring, again, the dry brush, it just takes a little bit of practice and you get it. Okay. Any questions? I tried to get done in an hour. I'm a little over. Questions? Okay. The little birds. Who's familiar with Rubber Chucky? The product? Donald Doyle that owns Rubber Chucky used to sell the little cardinals like I've got here, and he can't get them anymore. So we have found some other solutions on Amazon. They're not nearly as cute as these. There are little birds at Hobby Lobby. I don't think they're as cute as these, but there are other options out there. To attach the bird, it was a little bit of a trick to learn this. Hot glue is not your friend when it comes to the little bird. Take your medium CA and put a drop or two on the close to the house, on the perch, and maybe one just a little bit on the house, and hold your little bird nestling there, and just hold him for a minute. Medium CA. Hot glue ended up kind of messing up the feathers. Okay. Any other questions? Yes, you can. Well, they're not the feathered ones though. They're all saying you can get them at Craft Supply, and you can. You can get little birds this size in a packet of 12 at Hobby Lobby, but they're not feathered. They're like a little plastic. And we've used them, but they don't hold as well. They don't bond as well. You'd probably have to use epoxy that would hold better than CA on plastic. It's called Golden Fluid Acrylics. Michael's. You can buy it off Amazon. What was that? Art Supply, Dick Blick's. Yeah, any of the big arts of Jerry's, Artorama, I think. But it's, the main thing is that it's a fluid acrylic. It's a lot thinner. It's not a heavy bodied acrylic. This one looks it, but it's not. Here, you can see it. Pass that around. Don't put your finger in it unless you want to be sober. Okay. It's not thin enough to use in an airbrush, but it's thinner than what you would typically use on canvas. So it's not a heavy body. Okay. And that looks a little thicker than it actually will spread. Okay. Any other questions? Whatever I can get for them. We sold them last year for 35, which is part of the reason why I set up trying to do as many as I could, one operation at a time. The way I flip them 4 times, if I can do 25 or 30 of them one way, back up, it's making me a little more money. That's part of the reason why I just use a little dowel. I could turn, and a lot of you have probably that have done birdhouses have probably turned the perches, which is great, but it's time. And I'm not sure I can get 40 or 45 out of them. So I use a perch or the dowel. Okay. You could use something that I played with a little bit. How many of you have used gilt cream? You know, you see the Agar videos. That would work on these roofs as well. I've not used them on the roofs, but I've used them on other textures. Okay. I hope y'all give it a try. My daughters-in-law really like them. My granddaughter, when I told her you can go pick any one of the ones that's on the tree, we had about 25 of them on our Christmas tree. I said, Claire, you get first choice. She was excited. She's 13 now, 12 last year. She was excited. So for those of you that have got grandkids, and I'm sure that those of you that have got 30-year-old grandkids, they'd be just as excited because they're getting something you made for them. Okay, anything else?
Our tradition in our club, the demonstrator is to select a club challenge for the next one. So it's going to be.
Roman canteens. No, I'm kidding. Well, I don't have a choice. If I say anything other than Birdhouse, I wimp out. So how about a non-hollowed out birdhouse? And I'll give you this caveat. Turn a birdhouse ornament. You don't feel like you have to do it this way. Just turn a birdhouse ornament. Have you got any pictures of yours on your phone? How many of you know the original owner of Craft Supply? Dale Nish. How many know what Dale Nish's birdhouse ornaments look like? Go out and do a Google search. They're gorgeous. You don't have to do them this way. His didn't have a lot of artificial color. He used highly figured woods. I've used some spalted woods for the base or for the body. It's endless, the things you can do. Make a mushroom birdhouse ornament. Grandson. Yeah. No. Daryl Nish, not Daryl West. Daryl Nish is the son. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. How many of you have watched the videos from Craft Supplies? The kid that's doing that, the redheaded kid, that's the grandson. And he just did about a month ago. He just did birdhouse ornaments. SWAT. Did he do birdhouses there? Okay. Yeah, he's a very good demonstrator. Young.
So
I'd say your challenge is birdhouse ornaments.
So, okay. Rob, where's Rob? Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take your time and you can come up and ask Larry more questions during our intermission. We'll take about a 5-minute intermission break and then we'll get into our challenge table. I did want to mention though that the Wagner, we have one of these back in the shop by our tools. It's in one of the shelves by the tools. So